Slow parenting family from across the globe. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Slow Parenting podcast and live stream on Nostalgia Media via YouTube. Thank you. My name is Richie Adewusi. It's a pleasure. We're late by another 9 minutes again today. Sorry. These technical issues are becoming recurrent. We apologize. However, beyond that, yes, this is the Slow Parenting live stream and podcast. It's still the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. I am not smiling. I'm not smiling. I know, well, this is a parenting, mentoring, coaching, counseling program, if you like, but what are we mentoring? What are we counseling? What are we coaching? When our children in Nigeria are not safe. They're not safe. And for context, please, if you're joining me, if you're watching from whatever part of the world, just join me in a moment of prayer for the children of and mothers and daughters and wives of Nigeria in this very difficult time. We've always come on this program and gone ahead to present the what we need to discuss on the stopped, the graphics, the reports that are disturbing. So if you may just join me as to just share a moment of prayer, that solution, immediate, speediest solution we found will be applied to rescuing all children, not the ones in Oyo alone. You know, well, all children in captivity and those who are living in fear, parents are living in fear to even allow their children to go to school, that succor would come, that wisdom would prevail, that good conscience would prevail, and our children would once again know, childhood, free childhood, without fear of being taken even from their homes, even from their schools. Please, just a moment of prayer, please. Thank you. Amen. Today we are discussing connection. Okay, we're discussing you could I just dragged myself to be on this program today, so you forgive me, please. The pictures are not. This morning, somebody sent me a video of another set of children and reportedly their mother kidnapped in a side street in Ibadan, in Oyo State, the same Oyo State, this morning. Additional reports came in, the kidnapped family, the kidnapped people, person and their children, the children were being taken to school. There are relations to a former minister. This is sad because this just paints clearly now The political, for those who have been missing it, it paints clearly now that there are political undertones to all of these issues of disrespect, lack of empathy, and disregard to human life in Nigeria right now. It's been on for a while, but it's gone crazy at the moment. Okay? So if we are talking parenting, are we going to be parenting in situations, in a situation where there's no safety? Look at those children. They were taken from their school. Look at what they've been turned into. How do I go about talking about, okay, parents, you're going to do this? They are our children. This is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking. There are so many videos. I don't want. I know. Please, these are graphic. I'm sorry if you're watching this from. This is Nigeria. This is what's going on right now. There should be a global outcry over this. A global outcry. Teachers have taken to the streets. I saw very disturbing images of a group of teachers breaking down the gate that is said to be into a government premises in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. These are disturbing images. And these things, just quietly, they're gaining traction. The government needs to do something urgently. Urgently. Our bit in the media would always be to draw attention, okay? Provide context, and then feed with verifiable data and appeal to all. This is not the time for anyone to keep quiet. People want before now. It's gotten out of hand, or there's no longer talk of it would get out. It has gotten out of hand. Okay, it has gotten out of hand. So today we're here to discuss another topic in the series of parenting and discipline, and if you like, to fill up a particular issue in the parenting gap. And everything is still wrapped up in communication. It's from the communication viewpoint that will get it or miss it. Okay, so a whole lot of the issues we've been advancing here concerning parenting and discipline have a whole lot to do, would continue to have it. My upcoming book, Parenting and Discipline, the Strategies of, I'm saying that correctly now, because my head is so messed up with all of this. Unfortunate, avoidable incidents. Especially as they concern of children, innocent children. There's another disturbing video of when you look at the video, everybody, the environment, and what is there, what is in that environment, what do those people have? Nothing. For them to be killed in those manners, including children, and there's a surviving child on the back of the mother, still backed him, backed the child. The mother is down dead. The child is crying with other dead family members or community members all around. And the killers, the terrorists who have done this, are just walking around, touching, pulling hands. My head is messed up, so please forgive me if I'm incoherent this morning, this episode, or this afternoon, yeah, as the case might be. Okay. Our topic, our issue is with connections. You want to discipline your child. You want to discipline your child or a young person. You already might be doing a whole lot, but the language you choose to use in that process could make or break the young person or the child. Research has it that children and young people, hear about 400 times, punitive, if you like, coercive, if you like, harsh sentences or directives or comments as against, I think it's about 400 against 100. I mean, nice, supportive, feedbacks. And the danger of that is that most children are not brought up, well, especially in the African sense. Not even, I've seen even friends who are not Africans, those scenarios around them. I don't know of any culture where talking back at your parents is clapped for, where you receive applause for talking back at your parents as they are elderly people, as they correct you or direct you. You see several videos on the internet, of people. Is it your business? Should you be talking to me this way? Do I know you? The internet is what it is. The social media is what it is. That's not the real. That's not the real world. Shouldn't be the real world. In the real world, we're brought up to listen and learn. But the danger here is, while the young people and the children would not talk back at you, they're absorbing those comments, those statements. The 400s that are negative, that are not helpful, that are not constructive, they grow up with those, internalize them. And for some, those might look and seem as if those are the best ways to relate with anybody, respond to anybody, friends, colleagues, schoolmates. Therein lies the danger. So it forms their personality, it's internalized. But when you choose not to use the statement, so basically, we need to help our children to remember positive statements, instructions, even when you are even when you are correcting, even when you are disciplining, even when you are, encouraging. This, how does it feel that you're able to get this done? That you're giving the child an opportunity to express the process or the processes that led him or her to arrive at accomplishing that task. In that way, you're building what negotiation skills, you're building assertiveness, you are making that child own the performance. The attainment of the result for which you are congratulating or trying to make the child feel good by that. Say, good job. Okay. I'm not going to go too much into details in breaking down these things because we have, as always, we produced a video, where I have enumerated what the problems are and what we are putting forward as alternatives, as solutions, as interventions that could help you with, using a language that would help you to connect positively with your children and young persons, and also help them to connect positively. Remember, we're all about family bonding here. One other thing you would find of utmost importance, even in this episode, even in this chapter of the book, is still that we cannot stop but talk about boundary setting. Yes. All of this is within the ambit of you're having this discussion. You've already set boundaries. Even when you are negotiating, remember, we didn't say you set boundaries. No, you have negotiated and agreed on boundaries and consequences, and if you like, rewards for good behavior concerning the boundaries. Okay, this is key. This is important. Okay. When your children hear you use correct, don't do this way, do it. Why did you, and then it's just once in a while, out of 400 of such instances, you just have 100 times that you say, okay, oh, yeah, you did that nicely. But that's still, you did it nicely halfway. It's not probing to, how does it feel to have, gotten that done in good time? You want to hear, good job. What response do you want to get from good job or well done? You want to have children, reasoning children, children who could communicate, who could express themselves positively to the benefit of yourself, large. Okay. You will pardon me, like I apologize at the beginning. All those issues with the children, they are disturbing me. I'm sorry for bringing. They should disturb you. They should disturb you, and I know they're disturbing you. Okay, so play your role. Speak up. Okay, I'm going to play you our in-house video. Okay, when we return, I already have quite a number of questions and comments about this episode today. I don't know if it is that. Well, I must say this here. Before every episode, we always put on social media what we are going to discuss. So people who are used to post this, but very likely that some of them would read and maybe because I haven't said much now to see the number of questions that have been sent to me here. Okay. But then anything I come here to discuss, it's usually at least 24 hours before I appear here online live. I have the description on YouTube, and then they are still posted in my handle. So people pretty much have some ideas of what we are going to be discussing. So coming here will just be to participate in breaking them down. Okay, so thank you guys. I'm not saying why these questions come in this early or no. I just want to give a background and then also would appreciate you guys. Okay, thank you. So we're going to play the in-house video now. And when we return, we take the questions, the contributions, comments. Okay, thank you. Don't go.
Dear parents, research shows that children or young people hear an average of 400 corrective statements for every 100 affirming ones in a typical home environment. 4 to 1. And every one of those statements, repeated day after day, year after year, is building something inside your children or young people. It is building their inner voice, the private narrator that will accompany them into adulthood, into every relationship they form, and into every moment of self-doubt or self-belief they will ever face. The question worth asking here is, what is that voice being trained to say? This is episode 5 in our Parenting and Discipline series on the #SlowParenting podcast, drawn from Dr. Richie Adewusi's upcoming book, Effective Parenting Strategies, The Power of Positive Discipline. Kindly subscribe right now because the next episode is one you cannot afford to miss. Words in the hands of a parent are either tools of construction or instruments of quiet damage. Here are 5 ways to make yours build. 1. Replace empty praise with descriptive praise. Telling your children or young persons they are clever teaches them to rely on your verdict rather than their own ability. Ban the words brilliant and well done today and replace every one of them with a specific observation. You stayed focused on that even when it became difficult. Builds far more durable confidence than any generic compliment ever will. 2. Introduce emotion labeling into daily conversation. When your children or young persons are upset or overwhelmed, name what you observe before you respond to it. From now on, when any emotion shows up, simply say, "You seem really frustrated right now," before doing anything else. That practice, done consistently, teaches children or young persons to identify their own emotional states, which is the foundation of emotional intelligence. 3. Use collaborative problem-solving language. Replace every sentence that begins with, "You need to," or "Stop doing," with a question. What do you think we should do about this? And, how could we handle this differently next time? Teach your children or young persons to reason through problems rather than simply comply, and that builds the independent thinking every parent actually wants. 4. Retire the comparison sentence permanently. Write down every comparison phrase you currently use and write a direct replacement for each one that speaks only to the child or young person in front of you. Any sentence referencing a sibling, a cousin, or a better version of your child or young person communicates that who they are is the problem, and children or young people who receive that message do not change their behavior. They hide it. 5. Audit your throwaway threats. Before any consequence leaves your mouth, ask yourself one question. Did I set boundaries around this with my child or young person? If the answer is no, do not say it. Take 10 seconds. Identify a consequence for breaking a boundary you and your child or young person have agreed on, and you will genuinely enforce and say that instead. Fewer words based on agreed boundaries do more for your authority than a lifetime of unmet threats. These 5 language modifications dismantle the corrective imbalance in your home and replace them with words that discipline and affirm in the same breath. Our livestream unpacks every chapter fully and we take your live questions. Come with the phrases you are not sure about. The link is below. Thank you for watching. If this video is helpful, please like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Kindly share with other parents who are navigating this, and stay connected with the #SlowParenting podcast community. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode in this series.
Thank you for watching our video, okay? Let's say here that if you have any issues or comments or questions or suggestions regarding any of our topics, any of the videos, any of the materials we've shared here, kindly just send us email. Our email address is always in the description, okay? Or for every episode or in the description, channel description itself, you'll always find our email addresses there. Feel free to send directly to me or send generally concerning the program. You're very welcome. And I also want to appeal, please, if you've subscribed to this channel already, thank you so very much for doing so. If you've not, please kindly subscribe and do share these videos, okay? Whether it's the live stream or the short videos that we have produced, kindly share widely. There are those who don't know about the program yet, who would find some of the things we're putting across here useful in their own situation. So thank you for subscribing if you have. If you haven't, please do subscribe to support us. Thank you. And then all of these books that are scrolling behind me, they're available there online at Amazon or Books Buy or any of the online stores that you buy your books or digital materials from. You'll find them there. You find the ebook versions of them, which are pretty cheap. But then it's the same content. It's just that you won't have the physical book with you, but you have the same material. If you buy the ebooks, which will get sent directly to your phone or your devices, whichever device that you use. Okay, thank you. So we go straight into our interactive session or conversation. Okay, responses to comments or questions or observations that our community members send across here. The first one here says, do you have any phrase you regret saying to your children that you thought was harmless, but it wasn't? I think my own challenge was more in my unspoken expressions, actually, than the spoken ones. Okay? We were not in a place for using foul languages in whichever form around the home. No. But everyone looking at me already knows that something is wrong. And yeah, okay. So I can't think of any, time while when I would have used a particular word or sentence or expression to any of my children. No. Okay. But I will say, I will tell you what you need to hear. If that is what you are asking about, I will tell you what you need to hear in regard to maybe a particular behavior or attitude. Okay. And then, of course, follow through with what you need to do. In this case, the child, what you need to do not to continue with such behavior and what expectations we have. Okay. Yeah. The second one here is growing up, competing and being compared with my sibling. Oh, so growing up, growing up, competing and being compared with my siblings made me work harder many times. What exactly is wrong with that? Now, that takes me back to the first question. Now I remember something which falls in line with what we're saying here. Yeah, I remember that, like, is that how your sister has done his? Is that how your sister behaves? That's not right. You're comparing. I was comparing then. That's not right. Okay? It will create one or two situations or scenarios. Self-hate, and then hate for that sibling that you are comparing. Yeah. So all around, there'll be enough hate to go around in the family over that. So it's not right. So then to this next question here now. You see, all of us human beings are wired differently, even twins, even quadruplets, whichever legs. We are wired differently. That is why we don't all have the same fingerprints. So, a child might not be dull, but might not do in the way you understand dull or the way you say dull. We don't all process information the same way, at the same speed. Okay? So, because I take my time to digest something, and it's not even all of us that are expressive. That's why you have people who are introverted, extroverts and introverts, and there are further classification of those character traits. So, last episode, we said know your child. When you know your child, you will be able to know whether that person is behaving to type. And when I say type now, himself or herself, and not in comparison to or with another child or young person. It's important. So he said, what is wrong with that? What exactly is wrong? He said, this person says it made you work harder. It doesn't make everybody work harder. It will make some people work harder, but they are working harder, but they are begrudging some people while doing so. So that's what makes it wrong. That's what makes it challenging, even if we don't say wrong. It's challenging. It doesn't always yield this kind of result. You are an exception, in this matter. Number 3 here said, you mentioned descriptive praises. Yeah, descriptive praises. What is a specific example for a teenager who cleaned the house without being asked to? Same thing. You might want to interrogate as a way of appreciation. Wow, this is very clean. How did you come to, cleaning it? What happened? Discussion will take place. The young person would. At the same time, you have allowed that person to express himself or herself, at the same time appreciating that that person has done something good and something right. Okay? But your question here is, what is a specific example for? Yes, have that conversation. He has cleaned it. Wow. Who cleaned this place? Oh, it's John. Johnny, can you come? Yeah. Wow. You did this. Wonderful. Well, said wonderful. How come? How did you arrive? What made you? Is it wrong? No, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just curious. The first thing that happens, the conversation happens. Depending on what you now choose to put into that conversation. Remember, all you want to do is appreciate this person without just saying, well done, good job, John. Remember also, it was not John's turn or responsibility to clean that place, as this person has said. So you want to know how or what made John to come to that conclusion or decision to clean the place. And you hear the news. John might actually have been paid by the person that's supposed to clean it to do so. You'll be surprised. But that's not in all cases, though. But you'll find something funny. But if you do not make room for such conversations, you will not get to the bottom of many things. The same way he will share that with you, you are telling that child or that young person, I'm open, I'm available for discussion. You can talk to me. You can talk with me. Okay? Number 4 here said, my mother, that is my son's grandmother. Excuse me. My mother, that is my son's grandmother. That's confusing. Uses so many of these corrective phrases, considering she is 82. First of all, you will not be holding an 82-year-old person accountable for, if you still have those that, I'm not saying that all 82-year-olds are, have any psychological challenge, no. But if you are paying too much attention at what an 82-year-old woman is saying, well, I have spoken with her, but it is unlikely she will change at what age? At 82. You can go into conversations with her to find out why she says things she says, how she says them. You will learn something. That's the bit I can say here. So I didn't understand that initial bit of my mother. That is my son's grandmother. Oh, okay. Your mother, your son's grandmother. Okay, of course, that's your mother. It has to be your son's grandmother. Okay, sure. All right. First, that's how they were brought up. After all the ramblings I have done initially, that is how they were brought up. But it's not always the best, but that's what they knew. Okay? They grew, they survived, they get back to you, but must you continue that way? No. That's why we're running a program like this. That's why we've written the books we've written in several issue areas about parenting. Okay? Another one here said, so you are telling me that after a 14-hour day, when my kid is whining about the wrong color cup, I am supposed to emotion label instead of just screaming, drink the water. Drink the water in capital letters, by the way. It says. Now, this person, let me ask you this question. What exactly would be your kick, meaning your gain from screaming, drink this water? You're only stressing yourself further. That's the issue here. We're talking about even you helping you, even when you think you are disciplining, do it in such a way that's a win-win for everybody, including yourself. There are some children that even when you scream, drink that water, the water will stay where it is. Unfortunately, there are some other brands of children that that water would mean they knock the cup over and the water spills, and then your frustration increases. You go to another level of maybe cane, of maybe whatever other thing. We're saying avoid all of those. Okay? Know your child. If you know that your child prefers a green colored cup for whatever reason, why would you go and put the water inside the purple one and then generate a debate and say after 14 hours, you have done the wrong thing in the first place? Know your child. Save yourself certain headaches and pressures and stress. Okay? Yes, emotion labor. Yeah. Well, okay, why don't you want to drink from that? Well, I don't like, I don't like this color. Wow. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Never feel too motherly or fatherly to apologize. Save yourself the heartache and the headache and the frustration. Know your this series is the sequence is not just put in place just by accident. No, your child. Okay, if it's a child that he says this is what I want, especially when he's right, what's wrong with having a preference for a color? You went to buy them anyway. The child didn't buy, so you bought the one and said this is one I like, and you bought it. So why would you now give him or her another one to use, which will now become a problem? In the first place, the child is not thirsty enough. He's thirsty enough, he will drink water from any cup. That's a joke. But there are children, people, human beings that I don't like this. You could call it stubborn, you could call it, but has this person expressed likeness for a particular color? If the answer is yes, don't stress yourself. Put the water in the right color cup. Ab initio, okay? Sorry. 6 says, would you say that it is better for a parent to be present even without gentle word, or be there for their children sometimes but with reassuring words? Communication is both verbal and nonverbal. What's being present without talking? You're communicating with your absence, with your silence. You are communicating. So it's better you vocalize whatever it is, depending on the situation, applying the appropriate strategies. Okay? Don't say, after all, I'm here. And let us analyzing that I am here. I'm here might mean you are there pressing your device, doing whatever on the device. You are not there. Okay? When you are there for your children, young persons, be there, body, soul, and spirit. Boundaries. Agree on when so time, this is what we are going to do for so. We have a card game that we are putting out, the family life education card game. The playing time, the recommended playing time is 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, a family of 5, the parent, mother, father, 3 children, would have had an opportunity to speak for 4 minutes each. 4 minutes is a long time. You want to know? Record a video for 4 minutes and see how long it will be. 4 minutes is a very long time for people to say what they want to say, especially in guided situation. The card game is designed to be discussion starter. All the issues are discussion starters. So there are no right answers, there are no wrong answers. So if you could have a fruitful family conference in 20 minutes, okay? So what brought that up here is the issue of present or no present. You are there. Make your being present fruitful. Communicate vocally. Your silence is communication of sort. Daddy is here, but he's not here really. Leave daddy, is always like that. You don't want that, okay? Thankfully, the last think is a comment, a question that I've sent here is, my adopted daughter was told you are worthless for years. I have said you are valuable every day for 3 years. I can see that she still doesn't believe me. How many more years? What you need to say is not that you're valuable. This is why we designed this episode and why that chapter is there in that book. By the way, I was struggling to remember the title of my own book earlier. So let me say it to you. I think my technical guys did me a favor by sending it, and my head is not working properly today. It's Effective Parenting Strategy, the Power of Positive Discipline. Okay, so you have described, ask her to say things about herself, how she looks, how she does things. Within those conversations, she would, with your help, begin to see the things that make her valuable. You're saying it, she just sees it as the opposite of what the other person is saying. You need to make her live it. You need to make her see it, make her experience it and express it. Okay? So at the end of her expression, you see what I mean? You see how really that you are valuable. You are valuable doesn't say anything. It's just a sentence. Let it come from that child. Help that child to see your relationship, how she does things, how she expresses, how she responds to things. Let her be the ones to describe those things, how she gets things done and all of that. Let her be the ones based on the questions, the probing. That's what you are doing, but she doesn't know that that's what you're doing. At the end of the day, you can now connect the dots for her. And so next time when you are talking about her being valuable, she'll be nodding here. And that way, it will not be how many more years. She will see the benefits and the good and the valuable, attributes that are embedded and inherent in herself. And we'll thank you. Okay. So guys, thank you so very much for being here with me today. Please remember again, let's not stop praying for the children of Nigeria, please. Okay, let's pray. And also pray for the government that they, find a way to bring about a lasting solution to the issue of, insecurity and protection of life and property in Nigeria. Thank you. Till we come your way again, same time, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West Africa time, including Nigeria. It's the Slow Parenting podcast and live stream on YouTube, and it's the Parenting for All season live stream on TikTok. So thank you very much. I'll see you again, same time next week. Keep it tight, okay? And be safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.